What the?
Lahaina used to be the capital of Hawaii, so there's a lot of history, there's a lot of culture, a lot of memories here. They still haven't, identified all the missing victims, if they're dead or not. A lot of people are even getting bones for the loved ones that passed. They're just getting like a tooth maybe. People were just cremated, the fire was so hot. So even if the news cycle is moving elsewhere, and that's always been my concern, that's why I've been trying to be on the front of getting the supplies that we might need in the future here today. This is gonna be a never-ending battle for a couple years at least. We have an entire town to rebuild, man, and we're gonna have funerals probably every day coming up. There's gonna be a different funeral every single day, and there's gonna be sorrow and despair. So one of my main concerns moving forward is also on the mental health part of things, because we already have a lot of people that have committed suicide that I know of, and we already lost too much, and I just wanna do whatever I can to prevent any more loss and tragedy for Lahaina. So.
Hey guys, J.P. Decker with Mercury One. I am actually here in Lahaina. We've been here for a few days meeting with partners to see where they're at, what they've been able to do because of your donation. We have worked with setting up communications. We've helped supply fishing supplies for the locals. We've helped provide food and water, and that's because of your donation. We've been able to start to restore the human spirit in Lahaina. I want to share with you some of my conversations with our partners.
Communications is a big thing, right? Whether it's these people here that have lost something and they want to communicate with family somewhere else, just to be able to do that. Same thing, their outside family is wondering about them. Did they survive? Did their house burn or whatever? So we can kind of make that link, and when we make that link, it kind of brings the temperature down. Yeah. So it takes the anxiety down. It helps them get back onto some sort of normalcy. To your point with communication. So you're right. Communications is aid. That's kind of our tagline. Calm is aid. Because it is a form of aid. And so we're certainly grateful to Mercury One and all your support. Getting us here, getting our people here, and getting them out in the community so we can find the unmet needs. We were here within 48 hours of this fire.
I just walked down Front Street yesterday, and this is where the fire swept and destroyed so many businesses, and I knew pretty much every square foot of that street, every little place, store, restaurant, it's all gone, but worse is the loss of life. The mental health is a really important thing. I just heard it was 5 or 6 people just committed suicide. And this is the thing, as Christians, the thing we have to offer is hope. And when you lose hope, really what do you have? You can't survive without hope. And so we want to show God's love in a tangible way, and thanks to you and your support from Mercury One and Glenn and all the folks that support him, we've been able to offer that tangible hope. By that I mean, food, clothing, water, things of that nature, and temporary housing and helping people connect, make ends meet. But now we feel our mission with this church, which has been here 40 years, is to be a light to this island and to go out and just love people and be there for people and help people and listen to people and to comfort them. The Bible says that we should comfort the afflicted. And so I think it's called the ministry of presence. When you're just there with someone who's hurting and you give a listening ear, that really goes a long way.
The logistics on this deployment they're vastly different than any other I've done in the last 7 or so years. Personally, I'd like to thank each and every one of our donors. We cannot do our mission without each and every one of y'all. Those dollars are critical to going right back into our efforts, to handing out the one hot meal that matters, to give that back to an individual that hasn't eaten for 2 or 3 or 4 days. And they come to you desperate and they're starving, literally. And you give them a meal that has love built into the box. Wow. And then when you hand it to them, and on the island here, we call it goosebumps at home, and I'm getting them now, but they call it chicken skin here. But that literally shows somebody the compassion in your heart, that servant's heart of saying, this is a meal of love. I want to share that with you. And we all know breaking bread is the best way to sit down and communicate with a complete stranger. And it doesn't matter what island you're from or what country you're from, what your station in life is. When you sit down and break bread together, it opens all the doors of communication. And that's how we provide these meals through our mission, is we're sharing that love one to-go box at a time, that one hot meal that matters.
So as we've been on the ground talking to local ministry partners, we ended up finding out about a big need we never would have thought of ourselves, but it makes perfect sense once you hear it. Many of these people on this island are fishermen and they're divers. This is an island community. So the water, fishing, diving, not only does that provide food for their families, it gives them peace. It comforts them. It makes them feel like a normal life is going to be possible again. But many of these families lost their fishing and their diving gear in the fire. So the thing that gives them peace, they haven't been able to do it. So Operation Blessing, thanks to the generosity of our partners who give, allowed us to come alongside those families, go to a local dive shop run by people here in the community, and buy all the fishing and all the diving supplies and take those directly to the families who lost those supplies in the fire. And we could just see the hope return to their eyes, the joy that they experienced. Many of them were in tears because they were so happy that they could do the thing that gives them peace again. And it's just one of the most amazing things that I've had the opportunity to not only do here on this island, but honestly, in my years of doing disaster relief, this is one of the coolest things that I've been able to do, to really genuinely bring hope and peace to people by connecting them back to their passion.
Nobody knows how great of an audience this is. Nobody cares to look. I don't think there is, and I mean this sincerely, I've said this for years, but I mean it sincerely. I honestly cannot think of an audience for a commercial show that has ever been this good, has ever been this giving, ever. I mean, when Maui is in trouble, and I can mention it, I don't think I mentioned it more than 3 times in passing. One time I talked about it, and then 2 other times I just said, hey, Mercury One is helping out in Maui if you want to help out. And $500,000 from you. You're struggling, you're trying to pay gas, but everybody gets so beaten down and there's no good people around. There are millions of you. There are millions of you that gather every day around this show. I don't know why this show has this audience other than we're like-minded. I still believe in the goodness of people. I still believe in the American people, and I think you do too. And we have a responsibility. We can be a beacon of hope.